the attendance?
Oh no, not it will be full, inshallah.
Oh,
No, it will be full. Yeah, because you know that is our. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد في الأولين، صل على سيدنا محمد في الآخرين، صل على سيدنا محمد في كل وقت وحين، صل على سيدنا محمد في الماء الأعلى إلى يوم الدين. اللهم اهدنا بفضلك فيمن هديت، وعافنا فيمن عافيت، وتولنا فيمن توليت، وبارك اللهم لنا فيما أعطيت، وقنا واصرف عنا برحمتك شر ما قضيت، إنك سبحانك تقضي بالحق ولا يقضى عليك، إنه لا يذل من وليت ولا يعز من عليك، قضيت ولك الشكر على ما أنعمت به علينا وعليك، نستغفرك اللهم من كل ذنب وخطيئة ونتوكل عليك. اللهم لا تبتنا يوم العرض عليك. اللهم اغفرنا من خشيتك ما تحول به بيننا وبين معصيتك، ومن طاعتك ما تبلغنا به جنتك، ومن اليقين ما تهون به علينا مصائب الدنيا. اللهم متعنا بأسماعنا وأبصارنا وقوتنا أبدا ما أحييتنا، واجعله الوارث منا، واجعل ثأرنا على من ظلمنا، وانصرنا على من عادانا، ولا تجعل مصيبتنا في ديننا، ولا تجعل الدنيا أكبر همنا ولا مبلغ علمنا، ولا إلى النار مصيرنا يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم أنت ربي لا إله إلا أنت، خلقتني وأنا عبدك، وأنا على عهدك ووعدك ما استطعت، أعوذ بك من شر ما صنعت، أبوء لك بنعمتك علي وأبوء بذنبي، فاغفر لي فإنه لا يغفر الذنوب إلا أنت. اللهم إنا عبيدك أولاد عبيدك أولاد إيمانك، نواصينا بيدك، ماض فينا حكمك، عدل فينا قضاءك. نسألك اللهم بكل اسم هو لك سميت به نفسك، أو أنزلته في كتابك، أو علمته أحدا من خلقك، أو استغفرت به في علم الغيب عندك، أن تجعل القرآن العظيم ربيع قلوبنا ونور أبصارنا وجلاء همومنا وأحزاننا. اللهم ذكرنا منه ما نسينا، وعلمنا منه ما جهلنا، وارزقنا تلاوته آناء الليل وأطراف النهار على الوجه الذي يرضيك عنا يا أرحم الراحمين. وصلى اللهم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I welcome you to another Jumma from Upper Westchester Muslim Society in Pleasantville, New York. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, we have Jumma on site. For those at work or home, you can follow us on our YouTube channel, and also on Zoom or dial in as you have it in the announcement. Today, inshallah, we have our brother Khusro, inshallah, is going to deliver the khutbah, and followed by the prayer, and followed by short announcement by brother Hussein Zohri. Inshallah, if you are not here, you should, after khutbah, you should pray Zohr 4 rak'ah.
السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله، أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله، أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله، أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة، حي على الصلاة، حي على الفلاح، حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
No, no, you have to. It's just because shut the door. No, use the second. Yeah, that's it.
Again. Please turn off your cell phones so that there is no disturbance and we can focus on the khutbah. إن الحمد لله ونعمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يضلل الله ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. All praise is for Allah. We seek His help and His forgiveness. We seek refuge with Allah from the evil of our souls. Whomsoever Allah guides will never be led astray, and whomsoever Allah leaves astray, no one can guide. I bear witness that there is no God but Allah. And I bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is his slave and messenger. I have often heard people say that the life of this world is nothing, and that the real life is the one in the afterlife. They may in fact say that this is what the Quran says. In some ways, they may be right, but in other ways, this is an incorrect statement, and it could be misleading. This statement is right only if we try to measure the life of this world against the life of the afterlife. If we did this, then by comparison, the life of this world is smaller than a dot. This statement is, however, misleading if we consider that entry into paradise or the rewards of afterlife are not automatic. Not everyone will gain entry into paradise. In fact, the factor as to who or who will not enter paradise will be determined by how we conduct ourselves in this world. So let us examine what the Quran says in Surah 3, verse 185. Every soul shall have a taste of death, and only on the day of judgment shall you be paid your full recompense. Only he who is saved from the fire and admitted to the garden will have attained the object of life. For the life of this world is but goods and chattels of deception. Surah 57, verse 20, I'm adding further, says, know ye all that the life of this world is but play and amusement, pomp and mutual boasting and multiplying in rivalry amongst yourselves, riches and children. Here is a similitude, how rain and the growth which it brings forth delights the hearts of the tillers. Soon it withers, thou wilt see it grow yellow, then it becomes dry and crumbles away. But in the hereafter is a penalty severe for the devotees of wrong, and forgiveness from Allah and His good pleasure for the devotees of Allah. And what is the life of this world but goods and chattels of deception? So it is true that the next world is our ultimate destination, but there is no guarantee that we'll be rewarded with the next world without passing the test. We cannot enter paradise. So there is no point in saying that this world is unimportant. In fact, this world is very important. The most important thing that we can do is to participate in this world. So why do we keep saying that this world is not important? This is not what Surah 3, verse 185 is saying. Taken in isolation, the verse does say that the life of this world is but goods and chattels of deception. But in other verses, it is said that you will be judged on how you conduct yourself in this world. Are we being told to stay away from the world and worldliness, or are we being told that the world can be a dangerous and deceptive place? Let me give you a few examples of why we do not have a choice. Let us take the example of the Battle of Badr. Did the Muslims of Medina have a choice to keep on living in their city undisturbed? Had 3 Muslims not stood up to the far greater numbers who attacked them, there would be no Islam today. The Muslims also did not have a choice not to defend themselves at the Battle of Uhud. Furthermore, they learned some hard lessons from that experience. In both cases, they did not have the choice not to be engaged in dunya. What about the suicide bomber who is told to go and commit suicide? Because the life of this world is not important, and the real world only begins after death. He then goes and kills innocent people to hasten the next world. Let us consider the experience of Black Africans who were brought into America against their will, forcibly, and to be treated as animals and workhorses for 250 years to start off with. This is also dunya. They did not have a choice to decide on how they would conduct themselves in this world. If we think we have a choice to think that we are always free to decide whether we can participate in this world or not, think again. Between 1525 and 1866, in the entire history of the slave trade to the New World, according to the Transatlantic Slave Trade Database, 12.5 million Africans were shipped to the New World. 10.7 million survived the dreaded Middle Passage, disembarking in North America, the Caribbean, and South America. Let us be very clear. No one is going into the great everlasting world who has not passed the test in this world. Being in denial of this world will not get us there. If we say all our prayers and give zakat and observe Ramadan, that is not necessarily a license to the next world. Can the world be deceptive and tricky? Absolutely. Can we be sucked into its charms and temptations? Absolutely. This does not mean that we should not be fully engaged in this world. Let us stop saying, therefore, that the world is not important. In fact, let us start saying that the world is very important. We have to confront evil. We have to confront injustice. We have to confront unfairness. We have to fight for justice, and we have to fight for our rights. We have to lead good lives, and we cannot do this by trying to hide from this world. When the Quran says, "Know ye all that the life of this world is but play and amusement, pomp and mutual boasting and multiplying and rivalry amongst yourselves, riches and children." It is describing that the life of this world should not, it is describing what the life of this world should not become. And at the same time, it is saying that unless you make yourself strong and believe in the day of judgment, you will succumb to the temptations of this world. As further proof of how God gives importance to the life of this world, let us read Surah 5, verse 87, which says, O ye who believe, make not lawful the good things which Allah had, make not unlawful the good things which Allah had made lawful for you, but commit no excess. For Allah loveth not those given to excess. So clearly there is no prohibition for us to enjoy the benefits of this world. In fact, there is an encouragement here to enjoy food, nature, the comforts of this world, companionship, children, and other forms of relaxation, so long as they are done in moderation. Just because this world is temporary and the next world is permanent, does not imply that we can just qualify for the next world by passing time here. Let me give you a few more examples of how in our lives we actually have decided to participate actively in this world. When we made the decision to come to this country, it was a worldly decision. It was a decision based on what we thought was better for us and our coming generations. It was a decision based on knowing that we were going away from a Muslim country to a non-Muslim country. In other words, it was an informed decision, but it was a worldly decision. The message in the Quran, therefore, cannot be read to mean that just because the world can be a dangerous place, it is best to avoid it. I know we all understand this, but I feel compelled to review it today, since I often hear the phrase that the world is unimportant, that really what is important is the next world. So let me go back to the phrase in the Quran that the life of this world is but play and amusement. Surely it is a warning that unless we are able to maintain a balance between being attached to the world and being detached from it, the pleasures and attractions of this world can suck us in and lead us astray. Inshallah, I will finish in my next part. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما صليت على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما باركت على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. Today we are witnessing how over-attachment to worldliness and materialism is causing immense pain and suffering to our adopted country. Today, we are witnessing how even though the Constitution subscribes to the highest standards, yet it cannot be practiced in an environment where power and money are given too much importance. This is my analysis. I may be wrong, but I do believe that the Muslims in this country have a lot to contribute to redress the balance in favor of justice and fairness and equity. To do this, they have to come out and be counted. They have to participate actively in the political process. They have to show by their conduct that they aspire to and practice the highest moral and ethical principles. They have to become worldly and be able to maintain the balance that is needed to not get tempted and fall for what on the face of it is attractive, but is temporary. The Muslims have the advantage of thinking long-term and beyond their lifetime. What America needs today is to shift from short-term to long-term thinking. That is again my observation. I could be wrong. But I believe that the Muslims have the training and discipline to make a meaningful contribution to the society that we live in. So let me summarize for you what I have just said. While I take the name of Muslims because I am addressing Muslims, I believe the Quran is a message for all of mankind and therefore applicable to all situations and all times. Let us consider Surah Baqarah, verse 62. Any human being who believes in Allah and the last day and work righteousness shall have their reward with their Lord. There are just 3 conditions. Only 3. Number 1, belief in one God who is solely responsible for having created everything. Number 2, believe that this world is temporary. Temporary but not unimportant. And at the end of it, there will be accountability for how we have behaved in it. And number 3, that the criteria of who will go to the next world will depend on what we did, how we did it, and why we did it. Inshallah, let us say our prayers.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله استقيموا رحمكم الله. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
جزاك الله خير. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Just a couple of brief announcements. First, inna lillahi wa inna ilahi raji'un. Please make dua for the parents, both parents of brother Waqas Khan. Both of his parents passed away very recently, and they passed away overseas. May Allah grant both parents a high place in Jannah, inshallah, and may Allah give his patience to all of their family, inshallah. Also, I was asked to remind everyone to thank everyone really for their patience, their continued patience with the mask and the social distancing. It has been a long time, and we continue to follow the recommended guidelines. Please continue to follow them. We're doing this for all our collective safety, inshallah. And if and when things change, rest assured, we will change accordingly. But also these measures also apply not only at Jumma, but they also apply at the Fajr and Isha. And I was reminded to remind you all that the masjid is open every day for Fajr and Isha. Please avail of that if you can. And then finally, please remember the Masjid Fund. We are, alhamdulillah, October is turning into good weather, but that will change soon and our expenses will dramatically increase. Please, before you leave, donate as much as you can to the masjid. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.